Hello, hi kimono. Could you let me know how the audio is? Can you hear me? Can you hear the game? How are you? I'm going to assume things are okay if... ah! They're a little quiet? Oh, okay. You're good beat, Avery. That's true. Avery just got up. Is that better? I moved the mic closer. Thank you. I appreciate it. Better? Alright. Perfect. Thank you. We continue. Soon you'll be a part of the 100 Club? We'll see. We shall see. The Child Consultation Center had finally contacted Satoko's uncle after finding out she was missing from school for 3 days in a row. I'm sure it was because of our efforts that Satoko was able to come to school today. However, we couldn't really celebrate after seeing her painful expression. Satoko, we were so worried about you. Are you sure nothing happened to you these past 3 days? I really did have a fever the whole time. I'm sorry for making you all worry. She started telling us why she hadn't been at school. Nobody had even asked her that.
Her uncle must have told her to say that to everyone. It's so painful to see her like this.
She looks so broken, for real. The relapse. Rana seemed more angry than sad. Inside, I felt the same way. It felt like my anger was boiling up and lodging painfully in my throat. He was only letting Satoko come to school because he was now certain that she wouldn't do anything that would put him at a disadvantage. He was treating her like a tamed animal. Was it too late already? I thought of the broken Satoko I once saw in my imaginary world. Satoko, do your best, okay?
Of course I will. I'm doing well, even though Nini isn't here with me.
I slowly reached out my hand toward her head. As a reward for doing your best, I'll pat your head. Do you mind? She didn't reply, but she didn't refuse either. I slowly put my hand on her head. She didn't react to it, but a tear rolled down from her eye all of a sudden. Was she crying because she didn't want to be touched? No, that wasn't it. Rather, it was the opposite. If I stopped patting her head, I'd hurt her feelings. Satoko felt obligated to survive without her Nini. But that didn't mean she didn't want anyone else's help. She couldn't appreciate my patting her head openly. Satoko had no choice but to cry in silence.
Satoko-chan, we won't tell anyone if you cry right now.
After Rena said that, Satoko started crying like a baby. I felt relieved knowing that it wasn't too late. She hadn't yet suffered from the fatal emotional wound that I saw in my imaginary world. However, her tears made it clear that I needed to save her as soon as possible. No matter what the whole world might say to me.
Satoko, everyone is going to help save you. I promise you that.
Satoko, we weren't just doing nothing for these past 3 days.
Right, Kechan?
Right. We're making an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. We're asking them to save you from your horrible uncle.
You don't have to do that for me.
It's not just us. Right, Tomita-kun?
It's not just me either. Okamura and the whole class are fighting for you. That's right. We all went to the Child Consultation Center together. We're going today too. Right, Mayabara-san?
Yup. We're not going to give up until we save you. All the boys and girls in the class answered my call with their cheers. Satoko seemed a little surprised, but then she soon became emotionless again.
Is that why the social worker came to my house? That really wasn't necessary of you.
Satoko, did he hurt you because of that? She wouldn't answer. I couldn't tell what the silence really meant. Soon after, Chie-sensei entered the classroom. She must have heard the noise we were making. Hojou-san, are you feeling better now? We didn't know for sure if she was really sick or not. All of us, including Chie-sensei, were feeling the same thing.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm sorry for worrying you. Everything is all right now.
Will you be attending school regularly from now on?
Yes. You don't have to continue worrying about me. You don't have to talk to any more social workers.
Hojou-san, if you feel overwhelmed, you could come stay with me. I'm on your side, okay? You're welcome at my house anytime. Hey, Chie-sensei, don't act like you're the only one who can help her. Satoko, we're all on your side here. That's right. You could come to my apartment too. We have an extra room, so you can use it as your own.
She can't do that. Satoko's my pet. She has to come back to my house. Nippa.
See? You're not alone. Everyone is trying so hard to save you. But I don't know if people at the Child Consultation Center will ever understand how we feel. If what Oishi-san told me yesterday was true, then once they learn this isn't the will of all Hinamizawa, once they learn it's only her classmates creating a stir, they might harden their stance against us. All we had planned was to go there with more people and ask for the same thing. The Child Consultation Center was going to say the same thing to us, too. It wasn't going to be any different from yesterday. They'd tell us that it's only normal for her uncle to take care of Satoko because he's legally her guardian. They'd also tell us that there's no proof of any abuse happening. And why do they think that? Because Satoko won't admit she's being abused.
I appreciate your kindness, but I'm fine. That's a lie.
Rena spoke with a smile, but her words cut sharp.
You're not okay, Satoko-chan. You're not fooling us well enough. All of us here and many more people know that you're in pain right now. That's why we're doing our best to stand up and help you. We're reaching out our hands so that we could save you from your struggle. But we can't save you without you helping too.
She's right, Satoko. No matter what we say to the center, they'll tell us that there's no abuse because you're denying that it's happening. We all want to help you, but we can't if you don't accept our help.
I understand. I was just like you once. I thought no one could help me. I thought whatever I was doing was the only thing I could do. That's why I didn't even accept my friend's help. But someone taught me something. I can't even remember who it was, but someone taught me something. The world that you want most is right in front of you. But you won't get there unless you take our hands. It doesn't mean anything if we're the only ones reaching out. Satoko-chan, you have to reach your hand out to us too. We could take each other's hands and return to the world we wish for.
Rena, who told you that?
I don't remember. I think I heard it before I went to kindergarten. I can't remember who told me that. But I can still clearly remember that feeling.
Oh my gosh.
I'm here because of what that person taught me.
I agree. Whoever it was who taught that to Rena, he wasn't wrong. Satoko, do you think it's better not to ask for help? You think that's the best thing you could do. But you're wrong about that. Look at yourself in the mirror. Is that the face you want to wear? I'm sure it's not. You don't want any part in this world. Of this world. We could bring you back to the world you want to live in. We're reaching our hands out. Those hands are almost touching you. But we just can't reach far enough. If we could, we'd pull you by the hair to get you out of this mess. But we can't make it. So you have to reach out your hand too. Our hands are right here. They're right in front of your nose. So take them. If you just reach out your hand, we could pull you up into a happier world. Satoko wouldn't reach out her hand. She just stared at mine as though praying for something. Her fingers were shaking, but Satoko wouldn't try to reach her hand toward mine. I felt like screaming out in anger, but I didn't want to scare her. If I did that, she'd never trust me again. All I could do was to wait for her to reach out her hand.
Thank you very much. Really, I do appreciate it. But I really am perfectly fine.
Satoko. She needs more time. Satoko needed time to sort out her feelings, but her time limit was getting closer and closer. It was unfortunate that Satoko didn't even realize that herself. The next moment, we heard someone approaching our classroom. By the sound of the footsteps, we could tell that it was the principal. And so, I couldn't tell why Satoko was twitching like she just got electrocuted. The door quickly opened and the principal strode inside. He seemed relieved to see Satoko back in school. However, Satoko reacted both dramatically and bizarrely. She let out an inexplicable scream, ran to the back of the classroom, and hid behind the curtain. No one in the classroom could understand her actions. We never even considered that it was because the principal had entered the room. The principal, however, realized it immediately. Satoko was scared to see him. Hojou-kun, is everything all right? He spoke in a kind voice, but Satoko was still afraid. It was plain as day to all of us that Satoko was frightened at the sight of the principal, but none of us could understand why. Are you okay, Satoko? You don't need to be afraid. We're all on your side.
My uncle is here.
Everyone thought for sure that Satoko's uncle had shown up to get her. We all rose up at once, shielded Satoko in a circle, and searched the surroundings. I had yet to see her uncle's face, but we were in school now. If someone unfamiliar showed up, I could spot him immediately. If he tried to force Satoko to leave, then forget everything else. I'd end the fight right here. Mion and Shion are thinking the same thing. However, while Satoko remained frightened, we couldn't find any sight of her uncle. Satoko was trembling as if he was already here inside our classroom, but there was no sight of him. Finally, I realized the truth. Satoko was frightened by the figure of the principal. I could understand that she'd be scared of his footsteps, but she was still terrified after he showed his face. This was not normal. It was made clear to me how much stress Satoko was dealing with. Rika-chan hushed Satoko and whispered into her ear.
It's okay. Your uncle isn't here. Your mean uncle isn't here. But he's right there. My uncle is there. He's come to take me back home. Calm down, Satoko. Did you take your shot today? My uncle is here. Wah, wah. Nini.
Her shot? What are you talking about, Rika-chan?
Keiichi, she needs Idia's help. Just tell him that Satoko is in an emergency. Hurry up. Chie, let's take her to the nurse's office. What's wrong, Satoko-chan? Satoko-chan!
Let's call the coach. She needs to see a doctor. Does anyone have his number? I do. Let's go use the phone in the teacher's office. Hi, Assault Shaker. Welcome. How are you? I headed to the nurse's office after I asked Mion to make a phone call to the doctor. There were lots of students surrounding the office. Chie-sensei was forcing out the other kids who had entered the room with them. I snuck behind her and entered it myself. Satoko was lying down on the bed, still shaking with fear. Rena and Rika-chan were there with her and were trying to calm her down. I spoke quietly so as not to scare Satoko. Body sore today trying to fight through the fever. Oh no, you're still sick? Ah, no, I hope you feel better soon. Take it easy. Is she okay? What's going on with her?
I don't really know. But she's very scared. She thought the principal was her uncle.
Hearing that made it easier to understand, but it was still hard to believe. He'd been right in front of us and had spoken to her in such a kind voice. It was really hard to believe that she couldn't tell that it was the principal. It's been recovering, even parents are sick? Oh no, not the spreading disease. I hope you all feel better soon then. That sucks.
When there's a dark spot on the wall, what does it look like to you? What? People who hate flies will think it's a fly. It may look like a spider or cockroach if that's what you hate. People tend to sense something they don't like when they can't really tell what that something is. She thought of her uncle when she heard the principal's footsteps.
But she was still scared even after he showed up.
The illness Satoko has prevents her from correcting those misassumptions easily.
What does she mean, illness? I tried to ask Rika-chan that, but Satoko was becoming even more frightened. Rika-chan held her hand gently and tried to calm her down. Rena tapped my shoulder. She was indicating to me that we should leave Rika-chan and Satoko alone in the room. I agreed with her. Satoko was in tremendous shock. We're going back to the classroom for now.
Yes, please do.
Rena and I left the nurse's office. My classmates were still asking Chie-sensei about Satoko's condition. As soon as they saw me, they walked over and asked how she was. Let's leave it up to Rika-chan for now. Satoko's very frightened. Please don't do anything to make her afraid. She'll only get more scared if we continue to make this much noise.
Let's go back to the classroom. Coach will be here soon, and he'll take care of her. You called him, right, Mi-chan?
Yeah. He'll be here right away. He said to let Rika-chan take care of her. And not to let her out of the nurse's office. Get back to the class, everyone. We're going to start homeroom. While the teacher took our attendance, a car arrived on the school premises. Everyone's attention was drawn to it. 3 people with white gowns came out of the vehicle. Iria ran into the school in a hurry. We were surprised to see 3 people show up. It made us all worry that Satoko was in worse shape than we'd realized. Chie-sensei felt the same way. She left the class to Mion and hurried to the nurse's office. Despite our worries, Satoko returned to the classroom about 10 minutes later. She was still as depressed as she was in the morning, but she was no longer in a state of panic. Satoko, are you okay now? I think you should rest some more.
I'm sorry for scaring you. I'm fine now. Satoko-chan.
Satoko seemed bothered by the way we were worrying about her. Chie-sensei also returned to the classroom. At the same time, I snuck out so that I could talk to Irie and his staff. I saw him talking with Rika-chan. Coach, is Satoko really okay? Maebara-san. Yes, she's fine for now. We should keep an eye on her, though.
It was just a little panic attack. She's all good now.
Just a little panic attack? Are you sure? You were saying that Satoko has some kind of illness. Well, I should be going. Please call me if anything happens. Coach bowed and left without making any comment. It was like he was avoiding my question about Satoko's condition.
Keiichi, can you promise to keep a secret?
What? Oh, sure.
Satoko's been sick since a few years ago. She's been getting treatment for that illness for a long time.
It was surprising to hear that. That meant she was already sick when I first met her. I'd never seen any sign of that, though.
That disease can't be cured easily, but she can live a normal life as long as she gets proper treatment and medication.
I see. It sounds like it's under control. I had no idea that she was sick until you just told me about it. She should be fine, right? She was hardly in a good condition, so that made me hesitant to use the word fine. What kind of disease could Satoko have? Based on what I saw earlier, she might have a mental illness rather than a physical one. It might be because of how she was abused in the past. I've heard that mental trauma is not easy to cure, and it needs medical attention at times. That must be what's going on with her.
Satoko has to take 2 shots every day. Since her uncle was bullying her, she forgot to take her shot this morning.
You mean Satoko becomes emotionally unstable if she doesn't take those shots? Rika-chan nodded quietly. Really, it was quite a shock. The Satoko I know is an energetic and mischievous girl who's always bouncing around like a super ball. I couldn't believe that she'd turn into a scared little animal just by forgetting to take a shot.
She becomes very afraid when she doesn't get her shots. When something happens suddenly, or she hears a strange noise, or sees something unusual, she feels like there are things that are coming to harm her.
So, she thought her uncle came to the school when she heard the principal's footsteps.
That's right. Once she convinced herself that the footsteps belonged to her uncle, that became the truth for her. Even after she saw the principal's face, her mind told her that it was her uncle.
You said that she can't organize information quickly enough. Is that what her illness is all about? I don't even want to know what the disease is called. I feel so bad for her. I had no clue that she'd been fighting this condition for so long. That poor girl.
Keiichi, please don't tell Satoko anything about her illness.
Why not? I guess I shouldn't ask. It might not be a nice thing to talk to her about her mental illness. I guess that's what she's trying to tell me. She came back to the classroom, but is she okay now?
Irie gave her an injection, so she's alright for now.
She's seriously sick to the point where she requires a doctor's attention. I realized something in the next moment. Hey, maybe we can have her be hospitalized. We can force her to stay in a hospital even if she refuses. That way we can save her from her uncle. Yes, that's a great idea.
Irie suggested that before, but Satoko refused.
It's not about her refusing or not. If the doctor tells her to stay...
Keiichi, if Satoko doesn't go back home, her uncle is going to get rid of her Nini's room.
What?
Satoko feels obligated to protect the Hojou residents until Satoshi comes home.
He was taking advantage of her. Teppei was telling her that he'd get rid of Satoshi's room if she didn't stay with him. That's horrible.
Please don't tell anyone about this. She is not good at controlling herself, so she might get very angry about this.
She brought up Shion, but I was also furious about it. I had to calm down, though. I needed everyone's help in order to save Satoko. I couldn't ruin everything by acting foolishly. I had no time to stop. Dang it! If Satoko asked us for help, we could help her right away! Just because she hadn't asked didn't mean she didn't need it. As her friends, we had to help her. Especially after learning that he was controlling her by threatening to get rid of Satoshi's room. She told you that he's threatening her, right? Can't we take that as an SOS? Rika-chan nodded slightly.
Keiichi, we don't have much time left.
That I was all too aware of. She had a panic attack just because she didn't take her shot this morning. But if she stayed in her current environment, it'd be too late to save her in a matter of days. I saw her future when I saw Satoko crying behind the curtain this morning. This is the third day. We have 10 times more people on our side than we had on the first day, but we're not going to stop there.
Keiichi, it won't be that easy to save Satoko. I've tried many times before, but never succeeded.
Really?
You don't remember, but you're different this time. I think you're getting very close to saving her. I believe that you're someone who can defeat fate.
What did she mean when she said I don't remember, or didn't remember? I didn't have time to ask questions, though. Yeah, you're right. I'll defeat fate. Just watch me. A huge crowd had formed in front of the library. It was hard to believe that over 50 people had assembled in front of such a quiet place. Kei! Things are getting interesting today. That's Maebara-san. He's our leader today. Yo, glad to meet you. Kameda-kun had brought a bunch of athletes with him. They were all very tall and full of spirit. Being greeted by a bunch of big people at once made me feel uncomfortable. Whoops, I shouldn't feel so intimidated. The commander can't act bashful in front of his troops. Following after them were our nameless comrades who sympathized with our plight at Angel Mort yesterday. I hate to say it, but I never expected any of them to actually show up. Seeing them all here to support us made me feel glad. They seemed plenty pumped too, raising up feverish cries. Shrieks? Kamena-kun did so much for me. He brought not only his teammates, but also people from Angel Mort. I couldn't thank him enough. Don't worry, Kei. We're all brothers at Angel Mort. I heard from the people who went to the dessert fiesta today that the dessert named Innocent Blue Sundae is the best one. Let's eat it together this summer. Keiichi-kun, this is incredible. You gathered this many people by yourself? Hello. I never expected you'd get this many people here. Boing. Good job.
Tomitake-san, Takano-san, what are you two doing here?
Oh, you didn't know? They told us that they'd come at the meeting last night. The coach is supposed to be here too. Sorry I made you wait so long. I'm sorry for being so late. It took me a while to leave the clinic.
Wow! Coach, that's amazing! It's amazing!
Coach had brought some sashes, headbands, and banners with him. He was so well prepared. The sashes and headbands read, "Save Satoko Hojou," and the consultation center must take action immediately. They were perfect for our protest. He had brought lots of extras along too. Takano-san and Shion handed them out to the other supporters. You know, Coach, I loathe that style of yours, but you've earned some respect today. You know, I really like these things. Not all 60 of us know each other. But when we all wear the same headbands, I start to feel a real sense of unity. It feels like I'm back at the dam conflict. The people of Hinamizawa were wearing headbands and sashes just like these. It was like they were invincible. No one could make them stop. Tomitake-san was exactly right. Even the kids from Okinomiya were willing to wear the headbands. It was like we were supporting a baseball team. Here, Rika-san. It took us a while to get all of these made.
Irie.
I'll do everything I can. I'll do my very best to help us rescue Satoko-chan.
Here, these are yours, Keiichi-kun. It felt like a field trip yesterday, but today it's totally different.
Yeah, I agree. I figured showing up in greater numbers would intimidate them, but this has way more impact. Bluffs really are important after all. Bluffs? What are you bluffing about? It's just about time. Call us to attention, Captain. Captain? I'm just the person who set this up. Keiichi-kun, you need to act more like a leader. Get up there and stand strong. I walked out in front of everyone while Tomitake-san took pictures. Everyone went quiet and turned their gaze to me. I felt so nervous, but at the same time, I also felt really thrilled to see all of our comrades here. Thanks for being here today, everyone. As you know, it's been 4 days since my classmate Satoko Hojou was taken by her uncle. How can he claim to be her legal guardian? He used to beat her, and he neglected her for a whole year so that he could live with his lover here in Okinomiya. The Child Consultation Center must urgently take care of this matter and save Satoko from him. However, they're putting her case on hold. They just don't understand how much of an emergency this is. Today, we're going to attempt our third appeal so as to get them to save her as soon as possible.
For those who saw Satoko-chan at school today, you should all know. She was at her wit's end after only 4 days. We can't leave her in that environment any longer.
This is our third attempt. We have so many people on our side too. Let's let them know how important this is. We're not going to neglect our friend. Amazing. This really is the return of the damn conflict. Maebara-kun wasn't even living here when that happened. This is quite interesting. There must be something about this village that brings people together. That's just the culture here, I think. Something like this happening was inevitable. I come from a city where neighbors don't even know each other's faces. I'm a little jealous.
That's a bit rich coming from someone who keeps complaining about the lack of trains.
All units, prepare for assault. Give us the order to lay our lives down today, Your Excellency. Press our demands. Rescue our target. Everyone follow K's command. Yeah! 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 Everyone had that much vigor before we'd even entered the building. They had to have heard what was going on outside. In fact, panicked-looking people were staring at us out the windows. Well, here goes nothing. Iria pushed me forward, and I took the first step of our third attempt, which was with the weight of 60 people on my shoulders. We went through the automatic doors and slowly crossed 20 meters to the counter. How will they take this? The first day was just a counselor. Yesterday was a manager. Think we'll get the guy in charge today?
I don't know. But I'm sure they'll understand just how much we care about her.
Hello. How may I help you today? Same as yesterday. We're here to appeal for immediate action on behalf of Satoko Hojou. At the far end of the office, I saw the manager from yesterday talking to a guy sitting behind an important-looking desk. I could tell he was intimidated to see so many people. Shion said that this was the day we'd finally close the deal, but I couldn't be that optimistic yet. To be honest, our current number was probably the maximum number of people that I could get. So what would we do if things didn't work out today? I put up a brave front, but internally I was nearly cracking with the anxiety. But looking at the hopeful, encouraging expressions on Rena's face as she walked beside me helped disperse those timid feelings. Rena might hold the very same worries inside of her heart. Everyone must be wondering if we can really save Satoko or not. But today, we were supporting each other by hiding those worries. That was unmistakably our team's strong point. We could never have gathered so much energy and strength if we were alone. That power can only be created when people work together. It takes forever for a drop of water to wear away at one rock, but a tsunami can break it into pieces in a second. The manager approached the counter. He started speaking to me, saying that as the meeting room wasn't open today, he couldn't let us all into one room. However, the head of the office was willing to see us, so we could use the reception area in front of his desk. Since the room was so small, however, he asked us to choose 3 representatives to come inside. I'm truly sorry. We hope you understand this is out of concern for our visitors and show that you're willing to cooperate. We were here with all of these people, and they were only letting 3 of us inside? I wanted to refuse their offer, but Mion told me to take it. If we occupied the office with our numbers, they could fault us for obstructing their business. I think they're intimidated enough. The head of the office is willing to talk with you today. I think that's the best treatment you can get from them.
They're all shaking like scaredy cats. Meow meow.
Still, it's definitely a lie that the meeting room isn't available today.
I think so too. But Mi-chan is right. I think they're intimidated enough.
The head of the office is the top of the whole organization. If he's willing to talk to us, we might have to compromise as well. If we refuse to see him, that will go on the record. We don't want them to be able to claim that we refuse to talk to him. I think we should make it clear that we're here to have a conversation. It was good to get suggestions from so many people. If it was only me, I would have just gotten pissed off and left. That was probably not the best idea. Once again, I felt how important it was that we were a team. I understand. 3 of us will go and talk to him then. But who should it be?
Kichi-kun, you have to go. Other than you, I think Coach and Mi-chan would be the best choice.
If the head of the office recognizes me, they'll think that this is the Sonozaki family's doing. Poison the uncle's coffee? They might if things don't go well for them here. I can't let him think that since my family has nothing to do with this case. I'm really sorry, but it's those adult circumstances again. Saving Satoko was our fight. That old hag has nothing to do with this anyway. How about you, Rena-san? I think you should go and talk with them.
I don't mind, but how about you, Rika-chan? Me? As Satoko-chan's best friend, I think you should be a representative.
Rika-chan is a quiet girl, so it'd be hard for them to understand what she's thinking. However, she is Satoko's best friend. She'd been living with her for the past year as if they were family. She has the strongest bond with Satoko out of any of us. Alright, Coach, Rika-chan, and me, we're going in. Roger. I'll get everyone under control. Mion winked at me and started explaining the situation to everyone else.
I never thought that I'd be chosen as one of the representatives. I'm not a very good speaker, so really, Rena or Shion should have been picked instead of me. But I just couldn't refuse when they told me that Satoko's best friend should be the one to go. They told us to sit on the couch inside the visitors' room. The counselor, the manager, and the head of the office were there. The way they treated us was improving every time we came. I didn't know if today's appeal would change anything, but I was starting to feel the direction of fate shift little by little.
What do you think, Rika?
Things have changed dramatically in only a few days. I have no idea what'll happen next. Hanyu appeared beside me. It had been a while since she showed up. Hanyu was assuming that we still wouldn't be able to save Satoko in this world either. She always felt it was best to just watch what happened, without hoping for a positive change. I'd been hurt so many times after being betrayed while hoping for change. Surely that wasn't good for my soul. I've been beaten down over and over again. It's better to be quiet and do nothing. It's better not to expect change. That way, if something bad happens, I won't feel pain. My fate was already a dead end. But
Was that really true? I did my best in many of my previous lives. However, I had always acted alone. A miracle only happens when everyone combines their efforts. I was starting to feel the depth of what that meant. But even so, that didn't guarantee that we could save Satoko. This was the best chance I'd had so far, certainly, but that still didn't prove anything. I couldn't call it a miracle just yet. A miracle is something far more dramatic. So this wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a miracle just yet. There was still someone else who needed to reach out for this to become a miracle. Everyone had been working so hard. They truly believe they can bring about a miracle. Who amongst them doesn't believe? Isn't there someone who's not reaching out her hand like everyone else is doing? Basically, it's because of Satoko that a miracle won't occur. Things won't change unless she starts seeking help herself.
I know, but that isn't so easy for her.
Everyone is trying to save Satoko, but she's not reaching out her hand in return. Before they even came here, they should have tried persuading her first.
You think we should tell her to reach out her hand?
Yes. I know that's not an easy thing for her, but it wouldn't be as difficult as waiting for another world as fortunate as this one. In any case, I'm the only one with the key to open her heart. I'm like family to Satoko. I know she thinks the same. I'm not trying to brag or anything. Satoko's like family to me as well. No, my feelings toward her are even deeper than that. It might be only 1 year for Satoko, but I've spent decades with her. You know, I've realized something. I know why this isn't yet a miracle.
Why is that?
For a miracle to happen, everyone must come together. But someone is still missing. One person is still not working with everyone. That's why the miracle hasn't occurred.
Are you talking about Satoko?
Hehe. No. It's me. I'm talking about me. I had just been observing them like a spectator. I'd been tired of this eternally repeating world and acted like a witch. I had forgotten the powerful feelings needed to change fate. In other words, it was like I was supposed to be an actress, but I was just sitting back and eating popcorn. I'm not a spectator. I'm one of the people on the stage. And that is why this play was never successful. In the world where Rena took over the school, if I hadn't done anything, Keiichi would have died in an explosion. Because I got on the stage like I was supposed to, the play didn't end that way.
But everyone still died.
I'm part of this world too. It's such an obvious thing, but I must have forgotten it a long time ago. I have to open up her heart. I have to set her free from Satoshi. I'm sure someone else can do that too, but I have the greatest chance of success. If I don't get up on that stage again, a miracle is never going to happen.
Rika, you once said the same thing over and over again and got hurt, remember? Are you going to make the same mistake again?
I'm aware of that, but I'll never end up in a world this fortunate again. The cheap resolve to try hard again in the next world will just cause my efforts to reach a dead end somewhere else. Far more easily and in a more hopeless form than it will in this world. This is my last chance. If this world doesn't work out, then I'm going to give up.
What?
Hanyu looked at me with surprise. For us, the term giving up means a lot more than what it sounds like. It doesn't only mean that I will accept my fate. It means that I will accept the dead end waiting for me. In other words, accept my death.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
You know, Regrets occur even when we haven't made an effort, you know? I was blessed with such a fortunate world this time. I mean, I never thought our uncle would come back, but overall, this has been a very lucky life. And with this wind at our backs, I think I've probably unfurled my sails as far as I can. That's why I believe this time will be different, and I also think that if this doesn't work out, nothing will. If that happens, I think I'll be able to finally give up.
Oh. Don't say that. Oh.
I'm the only person who can communicate with Hanyu. If I disappear, she'll have to go on with her life all alone. That's the last thing Hanyu wants to happen. Perhaps that's why Hanyu says the things she does. She doesn't want my lifespan to wither away by getting hurt emotionally. You see, I belong here, in this play. You showed me how to enjoy watching it, but the play won't move on as long as I refuse to act. Surely that's why it always results in a dead end. It always results.
Rika, I'm sure that one day you'll get another fortunate life where her uncle doesn't come back. I'm sure that you'll roll an extra 6 next time.
A fortunate world like this one, where Satoko's uncle doesn't come back. You're right. That really would be wonderful. Still, trying to beat my fated death is another issue entirely. That sounds wonderful, but it's still not guaranteed.
Let's wait for another opportunity. Please. Oh, please don't say that you're going to give up after this world.
If I die, no one will ever hear you cry again. All you'll ever be able to do is make people sense your presence by making noise.
Oh.
Well, I'm heading back to the stage. I'm going to do what I can. You're sick of repeating all of this over and over again, aren't you?
I'd rather repeat everything than spend the rest of my life without you.
Apparently, she thinks that this time loop that's driving me mad is far better than having no one to talk to. But that's just how she feels.
I want to overcome fate and see what's waiting in the future too. But it wouldn't mean anything if you weren't there with me.
I'm sure that's similar to my own claim that there's no point in living past June 1983 if I'm the only one who does. My ideal future is to survive past June 1983 and let the happy times continue like always without anyone missing. Hanyu feels the same way. She doesn't want a world where I'm not by her side. We're repeating this world only because we wish to do so. It wasn't just Hanyu's power. It was one that we shared together. Hanyu wants to be with me, just like I want to build myself a happy future. We both want the same thing. But if I refused to repeat the world again, my long life would be over. Yet I never refused, no matter how sick and tired of it I was. For over 100 years, I kept believing that something good would happen eventually. However, our power is weakening, and we can only go back a few weeks at most. We have so little time left to try and change our fate. If we kept it up, eventually we'd only be able to go back to the morning of the day I was going to die. That'd be a dead end for sure. I don't think a life this fortunate will ever come my way again. If my time was unlimited, I'm sure that will eventually happen. But I can't count on it happening in what time I do have left. Hanyu told me to wait for another chance because she doesn't want me to see me lose myself, but she isn't feeling the time limit like I am. It's a nightmare to die over and over again. Before I end up in that hell, I want to pull the curtain down with my own hands. This is going to be my last world. If this one doesn't work out, I'm not going to repeat it again. Let me translate what she's trying to say. This world is no different from any other world. You're not going to win, so don't bet on this life. Your lifespan is not as short as you think. You should wait for your next opportunity in this endless June. Stay with me until then. Stay with me and wait for the next chance. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Oh.
Then why don't you just pray for us? Pray that we can persuade the Child Consultation Center and save Satoko. Pray that I can defeat the fate of 1983. If I overcome this fate, let's do all the things I promised I'd do. Let's eat this year's watermelon while enjoying the evening breeze through the window. What kind of fall are we going to have? How much snow are we going to get this winter? Let's enjoy the weather. Let's enjoy all sorts of things that we've never seen. Let's watch that next episode of the TV show we like. Let's enjoy our future together.
You always said that we were going to work hard until that day came. But it's not fair for you to say that you're going to give up when this life doesn't work out for you.
I'm sorry that I couldn't keep that promise.
Oh.
I'm sure that we'll overcome this fate. You'll be there with me, Hanyu. Let's look up at the blue sky when that happens. I'm sure that the sky of the summer of 1983 is more beautiful than any sky we've ever seen. I'm sure I'm going to make a miracle happen in this world. God didn't design humans so they could redo their lives over and over again like me. People usually only have one chance, yet they can still make miracles happen with effort. They work so hard because they know that they'll never have a chance to do it over again. That is why miracles occur. But if I can't make one happen with all that, I just have to give up. I don't need another life. I'm going to make a miracle happen in this one. My friends taught me that. They taught me that miracles can happen when everyone works together. So it's going to happen. We will make it happen. We're going to have a wonderful future in this life.
Rika. Oh.
Hanyu disappeared, sobbing sadly. She was no longer in my sight, but I could still talk to her. Hanyu, we're going to have a bright future in this world. Just trust me. If you would just give me your power, it might be easier to make a miracle happen. This is the best possible stage that I can hope for. The actors on the stage and the audience before it can help each other. If you wish, you, the audience, can change the story too. I have made my decision. I'm going up on the stage. I'm not going to complain anymore. I'll do my best, just like Keiichi and my other friends. I'm not going to make any more excuses. I'm not going to wait for another fortunate world. I have to do my best in this one. I'm not talking about my decision to die after this world is over. I'm just saying that people are meant to have only one chance to live. And that is why they work so hard. Because I had so many chances to redo my life, I haven't been working hard enough. I was never able to make a miracle happen. In my previous life, Rana took over the school. Because I got in her way, Keiichi made it in time to stop the explosion. The story changed because I decided to get up on the stage. Perhaps in my other lives before that, I could have changed my situation if I worked hard enough without giving up. But I kept giving up so easily, and eventually lost my interest in those worlds. And so, a miracle never happened. A miracle never happened because I was always relying on the fact that I'd have another chance. Hanyu, I hope you can understand. Please, don't be sad, and work hard with me in this world. I couldn't tell if she understood me. I assertively spoke to the officials about how much danger Satoko was in. Keiichi and Irie also made their appeals from the bottoms of their hearts. I had no idea how the Child Consultation Center took what we said so passionately. All I could do was pray.
How was it, Kechan?
Well, it felt like a repeat of yesterday. We both went over the same things we talked about then.
We're still not reaching them. I guess they said that they'd look at matters more carefully.
Pretty much. They said that they would visit once a week and make a decision 1 month from now.
They're going to leave her with her uncle for 1 whole month? How come they can't understand how much Satoko will be hurt in that time?
Maebara-san clearly explained to them the danger she's facing. I also told them about what happened to her last year. However,
they're really not going to consider it an urgent case unless Satoko-chan seeks help herself?
I don't mean to cut into your conversation, but is it possible for you to get Satoko-chan to ask for help? He said that he's going to destroy Satoshi-kun's room if she tries to leave him. What a horrible thing to say.
They're still not changing their minds? Satoko can't even ask for help because she's being taken advantage of.
The purpose of a child consultation center is to protect children. I was starting to get angry the more I thought about it. But as I thought about it some more, I realized they were just trying to do their job. It was just that our opinions differed about the degree of urgency.
We told them to save Satoko-chan as soon as possible. They told us that she should be the one asking for help. Is there any way to resolve this? Is there any way to get an SOS from her?
We spoke to them about it. It seems that they were listening closely to us. But it also sounded like they're not going to take any action. Dang it. When the head of the office showed up, I thought I could change things today, but everything went the same as yesterday, and we still weren't able to persuade them. However, I'm sure we're making progress. It might seem like they're withstanding our blows at first glance, but they're feeling the weight behind them. We're not going to give up just because it didn't work out today. We're going to fight until they get off their butts and save Satoko. I told everyone that we're going to do this again tomorrow too. We might get less people next time. This is really annoying. We're working so hard, but this is all we can do? Dang it. We can't give up yet. We might have less people tomorrow, but we're not going to call off our 4th appeal.
Even if no one comes, I'm going. I'm not going to give up until they agree to help Satoko-chan.
Same here. I'm never going to give up. Thank you, Mion. I'll take whoever comes. I could see you guys from the window. Those banners must have looked really intimidating to them. I'm glad I stayed up all night to make them.
Thank you for the sashes too, Urie.
No problem. I wish I could do more than this.
I'm going to get more involved. I was about to give up on saving Satoko, but seeing Keiichi and Irie talking with the head of the office today made me feel motivated.
Rika-chan was always watching us from afar. It made me a little happy to see Rika-chan getting more active in the whole movement. I wonder what Rika-chan can do.
The next time I see Satoko, I'm going to persuade her to seek help. I think I'm the only one who can do that.
The same thing was on all our minds. The issue will be resolved the moment Satoko seeks help. But nobody can say that to her because we all know that she's dealing with the memories of her brother. Satoko, I know how you feel about Satoshi, but this is different. Please, ask the Child Consultation Center to help you. As long as you're seeking help, they're ready to save you any time. Don't be afraid that your uncle is going to destroy Satoshi's room. Please ask for them to save you. But without even knowing Satoshi's face, I could never say that to her. The only person who can ask her to seek help is Rika-chan. She's been living with her for the past year, and she's like family.
That's true. I told her today, but she didn't listen to me. It's sad, but the only person who can really talk to Satoko-chan is Rika-chan.
I wish I could talk to her too, but I agree. Rika-chama is her best friend. If she can't persuade her, no one can. If we can open Satoko-chan's heart, I'm sure that everything will resolve itself. It might be the better approach rather than going to the Child Consultation Center like this.
That's not quite true. Although Rena isn't wrong either. We both have to reach out our hands. Satoko needs to reach out her hand too. I also have to do the same. If everyone doesn't work together, a miracle is not going to happen. I didn't work hard enough because I didn't believe we could do it. So the miracle never happened. So I'm going to make a greater effort. So I'm sure Satoko will take my hand. Oh. I can't really explain what I want to say. I'm sorry.
Rika-chan is usually a quiet girl, but she talks a lot every once in a while. Just because she's quiet doesn't mean that she's not thinking about anything. In fact, because she's quiet, she must have a lot inside her heart that she's never expressed. We're going to continue our appeal to the consultation center. Rika-chan is going to persuade Satoko. This is the best approach, or at least the best one that I can think of. It might be slow and quiet, but now that I'm in the game, I can't quit until I win. If I gave up, I'd lose everything that I bet on. We're going to save Satoko. We just have to work together. But obviously, we don't have much time left to fight. What to do? We're definitely going to have less people tomorrow. In other words, we can't intimidate the Child Consultation Center any more than we did today. I couldn't see any other way to break our deadlock with the Consultation Center, so I had no choice but to swallow down the irritation starting to boil up in my chest and pretend not to notice it. It's getting pretty dark. Mion-san, you should tell everyone to go home now. I have a festival committee meeting tonight, so I have to head straight there after this.
I need to go to the meeting too!
I almost forgot. That meant I had to go too. While it wouldn't be a big deal if I missed the meeting, I should still go. I don't understand most of the things they're even talking about there, but I don't want to be rude. I'd have no choice but to go.
I guess we need to wrap things up for today. Otherwise, you're not going to make it in time for the meeting.
Mion thanked all of the people who came today, and told them to meet at the same place at the same time tomorrow. And with that, the third day of our desperate appeal was over. Hello? It's me, Keiichi. Yeah. I'll eat when I get home. I'm going straight to the assembly hall from here. Dad is on his way, right? Okay, got it. I called my mom and told her that I'd be going to the meeting without coming home. I'd get there kind of early, but if I went home first, I wouldn't make it in time. Mion, Rika-chan, and Irie were going to head there with me. Shion said that she was also coming. And now Rena didn't want to go home alone either.
My dad won't be home until late tonight, so I'm coming too. I hope that's all right with you guys. I hope.
That's fine with us. They'll be glad to see a bunch of young people there.
The average age will plummet.
I want to say hi to Uncle Kimiyoshi too. I haven't seen him in a while. We all headed toward the Furude Shrine in the dim light. The light was on in the assembly building. Some people had already arrived. Good evening. You guys are early. Hello, Mion-chan and her friends. Good evening, Dr. Irie. Good evening. You're here early. Ha 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 ha. We don't have anything else to do. More people started coming into the meeting hall. Everyone seemed to come so early. I should probably come earlier from now on, too. I thought I saw a lot of fashionable shoes at the entrance today. There are a lot of young people here. Shion-chan, it's been so long. What brought you here today? Everyone bowed to the newest arrival. It was the mayor, Kimiyoshi-san. He strode into the room with the other committee members. Hello, it's been a while. I was hanging out with my sis and just happened to come along with them. Is that so? Well, you're welcome here. You're coming to the Watanagashi festival this year, right? Yes, I'm going this year for sure. I want to see Ke-chan hosting the auction too. I guess it's time for young people like you to take over the festival. By the way, I wanted to talk to you, Mion-chan. Can you come this way? Ooh. Fine, what is it? Is it that guy from the refreshment booth team still angry? Well... Mion headed outside with Kimiyoshi-san and the other committee members. There's only one room in the building, so they have to go outside if they want to talk in private.
Today is Thursday, so we only have 3 more days until the festival. Are you ready for the auction?
There's not much that I can do now. I'm ready to get up on the stage and do my thing, though.
I think Keiichi performs best under pressure.
Everyone laughed. We continued to chat about the festival. We talked about what kind of festival young people like us would want to see. That sort of stuff. Suddenly, Mion tapped me on the shoulder. Ketchan, I need you for a second. She gestured for me to follow her out front without letting the others know. What did she want? Ooh, this don't look good. Once outside, I see Mion, Chie-sensei, and the principal. Oh, Chie-sensei, Mr. Principal, good evening. Chie-sensei responded to my greeting, but the principal must not have heard me, since he didn't. His eyes were closed. He seemed lost in thought. That sight caused our happy, chatty feelings to cool off quickly. My intuition told me this had to be about something bad. I need to talk to you, Maebara-kun. That doesn't sound good. Are you going to the Child Consultation Center again tomorrow? Yes. We'll keep fighting until they save Satoko. That's our mission. I don't know if we'll get as many supporters as we did today, but we're going back there again. Right, Mion? Maebara-kun, I know you've already made plans for tomorrow, but after that, I think you should wait and see what they do. Thanks to the advice from Oishi-san last night, I already had an idea of the situation. Is this a warning, Chie-sensei? If our protest grows any bigger, the village officials will have to take notice of it. That's why you're telling me to quit now, isn't it? Maebara-kun, I think what you're doing is a good thing. You're not wrong to pursue the things you believe in. However... She stopped talking after that. Chie-sensei was supporting us until just yesterday. She even came to the Child Consultation Center with us on the second day. So for her to start saying completely the opposite, I felt slightly dizzy from the shock of it. Ketchan, let me explain in her stead. Chie-sensei is still supporting us as an individual. However, well, is she being pressured by the Board of Education or something? Chie-sensei will never bow to pressure. You have no idea how courageous she is. She ignored the Board of Education and came to this village when the Hinamizawa branch school was still not approved by the government. I think Mion told me about that story before. The school was closed when the dam conflict happened. However, the village children still came to the school to learn. There were no teachers here, though, because the school wasn't officially operating. That was when Chie-sensei arrived. After they won the dam conflict, the Sonosaki family and the other villagers made an appeal, and the school's existence was finally approved. Our school didn't have an easy start. The government was against it, but the villagers forced them to approve. Chie-sensei came along with us on our appeal yesterday. That was very courageous of her, but now people who want to close the school are paying attention to what we're doing. That's basically it. Chie-sensei can't support us openly anymore. Chie-sensei stared at the ground as Mion spoke. I'd never seen her look so sad. If it was just about me, I wouldn't care what happened. I don't want to be a teacher who can't even fight for her own students. But I can't put the whole school in jeopardy. I don't know who told her this. Whoever it was, they warned her not to escalate things around Satoko's case. They threatened the existence of our school to make her obey, and pressured her with responsibility she couldn't take on her own. You know, yesterday, Oishi-san told me something similar. In this exact same spot, too. He warned me that if I kept escalating this, then I'd be fighting against the elders who still don't like the Hojou family. Or something like that. He told you that? Well, he's not really wrong. Mion looked at the ground along with Chie-sensei. I always thought Chie-sensei and Mion were stronger people. So seeing them both hanging their heads like this is hopeless made me feel like we were being pushed into a dead end. And I hated it. You were just at the Child Consultation Center with us. You told everyone to come again tomorrow. That's the Mion I came to this meeting with. So when did she get swapped with this weak Mion? When I said, when did she get swapped, I immediately thought of one thing. The mayor took her outside the building earlier. Did he... I see. He called you out here to talk about this, didn't he? Well, kind of. It felt painful to see her fake a smile like that. She was only out here with him for about 10 minutes. What the hell did he tell her that crushed her spirit? Mion, Chie-sensei, the two of you are the strongest people I know. I respect you very much. I can't even imagine what kind of pressure would cause you to change your opinions overnight. I didn't feel like getting mad at them. They were just as passionate about saving Satoko as I was. Towards them, I felt nothing but pity. Maebara-kun, I don't know what to say. You don't need to apologize. I could feel an angry tone entering my voice. I'd had enough. Tell me something. Why do the old people in the village still hate the Hojou family that much? The damn conflict is over. Satoko is totally innocent, isn't she? Why do they still hate her so much? Who hates her? Whose fault is this? I'm going to have a chat with whoever that is. I don't think anyone actually hates the Hojou family. What? What are you saying? It's true that the Hojou family was the enemy during the dam conflict. The whole village believed that. But after Satoko's parents died, the people started realizing that she was innocent. But no one ever came forward to forgive her. I can explain why. Shion! It wasn't just Shion who appeared. Rena and Rika-chan were there with her. They'd come out to check on me and overheard what we were talking about. After uniting to turn the Hojou family into their scapegoat, the village is still living in fear. But not because they're scared of them. They're living in fear that if they ended up connected to the Hojou family, they'll be made into a scapegoat by the village. Oh, the village too. In other words, if you help a member of the Hojou family, you might get attacked by the village, just like they did. They still feel that way, years after the conflict.
Is that true? Everyone was always nice to Satoko-chan at school. Only the old people are involved in this. However, they're the core of the village.
They all believe that the leader of the Sonozaki family, my granny, still hates the Hojou family. But that's not true. Granny's also afraid. She thinks that if she forgives the Hojou family, the other elderly people will lose trust in her. This is really complicated. So what do you mean? Who am I supposed to punch in the face? The truth is, no one really hates the Hojou family. They all think we should forgive them. But they can't come forward with that opinion. They're convinced that everyone else still hates the Hojou family.
So, everyone is misunderstanding each other?
That's right. You can ask all of them individually. You'll see that no one really hates Satoko. Her parents' death marked the closure of that hatred. After her parents died, my grandma told everyone not to bother the Hojou family anymore. However, she didn't tell people to forgive them. That's probably because of my father.
Rika-chan's father? Why is that?
My father was so laid back that people started saying he didn't deserve to be a leader in the village anymore. Rika-chan's dad was a very relaxed guy. I think that helped him calmly resolve things. But at the same time, people who were burning with anger about the dam project were looking for a more aggressive leader. So my granny came forward and acted as one in order to unite the whole village. And because of her role as an aggressive leader, she can't publicly announce that she's going to forgive the Hojou family? Yeah. Old people put a lot of stock into not changing their minds. She can't reverse her policy so easily.
But that's terrible. People are refusing to forgive Satoko-chan and blaming it on everyone else. They can't forgive her because they're afraid of what other people might think. That's awful.
During the dam project, a few households actually thought that it would be fine to vacate their homes since they were getting compensation money from the government. But they couldn't say that out loud. The Hojou family, however, came forward with their opinion and announced that they were willing to vacate. Those households gained courage after seeing the Hojou family, and they almost established a group of people who agreed to leave. I'm sure you understand this after today, but in order to effectively protest something, everyone has to have the same opinion. It's important that the whole village is on the same page. Before the dam conflict, Hinamizawa was tearing itself apart instead of waging war.
They said that it was because my father was such a lazy leader. He never thought that they'd actually build a dam. He believed that we could reach a peaceful resolution just by negotiating. People thought that was why some families started agreeing to leave. Supporters of the plan to evacuate? That sounds strange. This is the first I've heard of that. People in the village always said that they supported the dam project.
She's right. They usually claim that their enemies supported the project itself. It sounds worse if you call them dam project supporters than if you call them evacuation supporters, doesn't it? If you call them evacuation supporters, it makes it sound like they're peaceful people who don't want to fight. But calling them dam project supporters makes it sound... I see. It sounds more like a group of bad people trying to submerge the village underwater. It's all about appearances. Coach had appeared. He came outside after noticing how long we'd been gone. The village of Hinamizawa was brimming with a sense of unity. Mr. Furude was not able to unite the village. The Sonozaki family figured that they could seize power if they were to take charge of that unity.
I'm starting to understand now. Let's phrase it a different way. In order to unite the village, they attacked the Hojou family, who betrayed their sense of community. They used them to intimidate other people. People became afraid of the Hojou family, so they changed their minds and started protesting against the dam project. They held that if you interacted with the Hojou family, you were probably a supporter of the dam project yourself. That's why everyone kept their distance from them. They acted like they didn't even see them. When someone from the family talked to them, they ignored it.
Initially, they were targeting only Satoko-chan's parents, but eventually the whole family was seen as a target. As a result, her uncle and aunt were caught in the line of fire too. It's kind of ironic. That was the reason they started abusing Satoko-chan to begin with. Her uncle and aunt were not in support of the dam project, but because of Satoko's parents, they were also attacked. After Satoko's parents died, they were forced to take care of their two children. It finally makes sense. I can see the whole picture now.
The dam conflict is over and Satoko-chan's parents are dead. I think the Sonozaki family should speak out and publicly forgive the Hojou family.
But once again, there's an issue. Granny's afraid that the elderly people here will lose their trust in her if she publicly forgives the Hojou family. Seems like the Sonozaki family's as worried about people taking them lightly as the consultation center is. I heard this directly from her, so I'm sure that's what's happening. All she could do was tell everyone not to bother the Hojou family anymore. When she dies, she wants the next family head to officially declare the end of the dam conflict, and to stop discriminating against the Hojou family. My mom knows about this too. I heard about it from her, actually. It's just the old hag's stubborn pride. Let me ask you this. It sounds to me like the mayor and his people threatened Mion and told Chie-sensei they'd close the school. How about them? Do they still have bitter feelings toward the Hojou family? It's ridiculous. Even Uncle Kimiyoshi thinks no one in the village hates the Hojou family. It's just sad that the dam conflict hasn't completely ended for those people. They're still afraid of being badmouthed behind their backs if they interact with the Hojou family.
But people like you and Rika-chan interact with her.
I'm young, and I don't have many ties to the town council either. Plus, Rika-chan is special. She's the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama was the one who brought the humans and demons together, which means she was able to live with Satoko, even though Satoko's not accepted by the villagers. After hearing all this, I'm beginning to understand how difficult it was for Satoko to live in this village. She always acted bright and cheerful in school and in the club. I thought that was her whole world. But I had no idea how she felt when she was walking around alone in the village. She probably went grocery shopping even knowing that people were going to ignore her. She felt the coldness from them, but she was standing strong on her feet. I had no idea she was going through something like that. I knew she went through tough times during the dam conflict, But I had no clue that she was still struggling to this day.
What a sad story. And the whole thing is just nonsense, too.
Do you feel that way too, Rena? I feel exactly the same.
No one feels bitter towards Satoko-chan, but everyone is afraid that something bad will happen to them if they interact with her. Whose fault is this? No one's? Is it the land or society making them think that way?
It's no one's fault. Yet they're so worried about everyone else's opinions they can't forgive her, huh? Yes, that kind of atmosphere is great when the wind's blowing in a good direction. People would act kindly and help each other. But the case of the Hojou family is the total opposite. It's spreading like a mold, and no one can do anything about it. What do you do with a rotten tatami mat? You have no choice but to toss it out and get a new one. So the mayor is pressuring us, not because he hates Satoko, but because he thinks that if he lets us run free, someone who doesn't even exist might talk badly about him. So that's why he can't leave us be? I call that someone the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Everyone is afraid of that someone, even though he doesn't exist. But that someone doesn't exist, and they're not a real person. Shion's theory sounded interesting. Everyone follows the rules because they're afraid of that someone. However, even the leaders of the village are afraid of the same thing. Everyone in the village is following the rules because they're afraid of someone who doesn't even exist. They still follow the rules of the dam conflict, thinking that they'll be cursed if they forgive Satoko. Who the hell is that someone? They could only call it the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama cursed the Hojou family because they supported the dam project. They still believe that, and Satoko is struggling because of it. Oyashiro-sama will not curse Satoko. She thinks Satoko is adorable. Please don't use her name for something horrible like that. Rika-chan made a sad face. She's the shrine maiden for Oyashiro-sama and the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. I don't think there's a curse in this village at all. Everyone is just convinced that there is. If that's the case, this isn't the Child Consultation Center's fault at all. The whole village bears responsibility.
Yes, I think so too. I thought appealing to the Child Consultation Center would solve the problem, but that's not going to do anything.
A rotten tatami mat, huh? We can't just clean the surface. Even if the consultation center does save Satoko, that's nothing but a temporary fix. Banger! I guess we need to throw away the rotten tatami mat so we can save her for good.
I think those tatami mats are all assembled nearby.
I agree. Most of them are within a 20-meter radius of here. Hey, Kechan, Rena, what are you guys going to do? Mion, you're deeply involved in the village. I know you feel hesitant to save Satoko as one of the leaders here. I understand why you and Chie-sensei almost gave up under the pressure. But I have nothing to lose. Maebara-san, are you really going to... right here? I'm going to do it. I'm going to get rid of that rotten tatami mat. Will you join me, Rena?
Yes, I'm tougher than you think.
Heh, I know. But you should settle down just a little bit. I feel like you could blow up a school if you got too serious.
I think you could beat up someone with a metal bat if you got too serious.
We're both pretty tough, huh? Well, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I understand your position, Mion. You don't have to come with me. Just leave it if you think things are going to get out of control. This is more dangerous than any club activity. I'm darn serious about this. As the next head of her family, she shouldn't agree with me, but she stared in silent approval of what I was about to do. Okay, if you're going to take that risk, then I'm coming with you too. Heh, that's the way. Just watch how I'll take care of this.
What about you, Shi-chan?
Fortunately, I have nothing to lose. I'll support you guys. Chie-sensei, Mr. Principal, I understand your stance. We're not in school right now. Please forgive what we're about to do now. You're right. I'm not your teacher right now. the principal and I, will entrust our will to you. I'm supporting you guys too. If they want me out of the village, I'm willing to close down my clinic. It's only natural for a master to sacrifice everything to save his future maid. Oh, I can feel everyone's power flowing into me. I'm not even going to try and cool down. I need to be fired up for something like this. As I turned back, I noticed Oishi-san and my dad. I didn't know how long they'd been standing there. You seem excited about something, Maebara-san. Oishi-san, you told me last night that there are some things that a man can't give up on. We have to take a chance, even when it's risky. Keiichi, don't stop me, Dad. I know it's important to be polite, but I need to do this for my friend. I'm not going to stop you. Huh? He gave me a big smile. I've never seen my dad smile like that before. I believe in what you just told Oishi-san. There are some things that a man should not give up on. You'll encounter something like that in your life, sooner or later. If this is that time, then I'm not going to stop you.
Oh, Keiichi-kun's father is so cool.
Of course, he's my dad. He's at least half as cool as me. I'm not from Hinamizawa. I can't take either side, but I'll be watching you closely, Maebara-san. When it's make or break the game, take the risk and discard for the middleweight, is something my old friend used to say. You can't compromise once you've made a decision. If you're going to forfeit, do so immediately. If you're going to fight, be confident in yourself. Mahjong uses double-double scoring, after all. Even if you get a small amount of points several times in succession, you'll lose if someone scores a lot of points all at once. You just have to be confident when you're ready to fight. Do you play Mahjong too, Maebara-san? They start talking about Mahjong together. This is going to be interesting. Someone from the committee came out and told us to come inside for the meeting. It was time for it to start. All right, let's go inside. I feel like we're finally getting up on the stage.
No wonder we felt something was missing at the Child Consultation Center.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the stage all along. We were fighting with the wrong people for the past 3 days. Let's go. Someone pulled my shirt. It was Rika-chan. Keiichi, you're not only Satoko's best friend, but you're also a member of the village's 3 families. You could just watch what Rana and I are going to do. But if you're willing to help us save Satoko, I want you to support us. You're going to try and change those hard-headed men? I'm going to change them. I told you before. Fate is thinner than a piece of paper. I'll tear it down with ease. Hi, Gray. How are you?
Hello.
What's going to happen?
They're calling the traditions of the village the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Shion sure has an interesting theory. Is Keiichi going to smash it in two? Can he destroy the curse of Oyashiro-sama? He will break it. Keiichi has the power to break everything. Redesigning Apollyon. Ooh, how exciting. Do show me when it's done. And I'm doing good. We're getting to something interesting here, so. They're about to go tell all the old people in the village that they shouldn't be mean to the Hojous anymore. It's not just Keiichi's power, though. Because everyone is working together, Keiichi's able to break anything. This energy is more powerful than the lucky 6 on the die. It's not luck. He's destroying fate with his own 2 hands. Everyone followed Keiichi and entered the assembly hall. I followed in after them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this with Keiichi. If this doesn't work out, that's it for me. I'm going to give it my very best. A civil servant's preparations. I see.
We're good as long as we know that the town council and the Onigafuji Guardians aren't involved. Please take care of Satoko Hojou-san's case without worrying about it too much. I will. I'm glad to know that the whole village isn't backing them. I wouldn't agree with them if they were, though. No matter who's pulling the strings, we must treat every case equally. This whole odd rule that we have to give Hinamizawa special treatment is only due to the precedent set when we let threats influence us before. Well, you're absolutely right, sir, but please continue to work on this case. The manager from the municipal government assured us that the town council has nothing to do with this petition. It's a problem that our organization is so afraid of one tiny community. As a manager, you should think about that a little. Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm glad to hear that the village isn't supporting them. You must act the same way even if the village does support them, no matter who is behind the scenes. Please be very careful with Satoko Hojou's case. Don't try to give her any special treatment. You understand? Okay, then. Okay. We have a little bit of time, so I guess we could do some doodling. So, I'm gonna swap screens. Higurashi attorney. Facts. They need one. I don't know if they have any lawyers there, but they need one.